Hello guys. It's been weeks since Janthir Wilds expansion was released. Now since I got 5 days off from work, I'm excited to post a new video to showcase all the open world builds that I made so far. Especially for the Revenant spears. The damage of the Revenant spears is really good.
3 days later.
Cool, now that I'm almost done with editing the new video. I can't wait to post it tomorrow.
Revenant.
Hello guys, it's been a while since Janthir Wilds expansion was released. Since many requested an update video for the open world builds that I made so far for the expansion, I want to say all the silly, ranger, guardian, elementalist and necromancer are still the same. Only updated their power version by adding the new spear weapon. But still, the old silly builds are better in terms of solo DPS and survivability. Some specs got minor changes in the expansion release, and are worth mentioning: Deadeye, Mirage, and Harbinger. The specs that got huge buffs with the expansion are Engineer, Berserker, and Revenant Elite specs. With that being said, let's start with those who got minor changes. We all knew since the beta that Deadeye Spear would be nerfed since it was overperforming during the beta. So daggers are better than Spear in terms of DPS and sustain.
Your spirit is mine. One shot, one kill. Target marked. Strong.
The Necromancer Spear is a good weapon for the power version. It has good damage and access to good lifesteal. But in comparison to the rest of its celestial versions, Reaper, Scourge, and Harbinger, the old builds are still better in terms of solo DPS and sustain, since mobs and champions in Janthir Wilds expansion hit hard and they have a lot of health. The only thing I would like to change in the Harbinger build is replacing the Strength Sigil from Torch with the Celerity Sigil, since I got some requests to make Harbinger able to maintain perma-quickness. So to have perma-quickness with Harbinger Elixirs and Celerity Sigil, we will have 72% quickness uptime, and to reach 100%, all you have to do is to go to the Wizard Tower and charge your Jade Protocols to proc more boons and more damage stats. So as you can see, I can easily maintain perma-quickness while using the damage trait, Doom Approaches, to increase the total damage and proc more passive AoE damage, since Harbinger lacks AoE skills to kill group of mobs. So there is no reason to take the Deathly Haste trait unless if you are going to do meta events to give boons to others to farm more loots. Finally, Mirage. Staff Mirage is still the same, but as for Dagger Mirage, ArenaNet released a patch where they replaced Daze from the Dagger Ambush attack to Cripple. Thankfully, the clones are still inflicting Daze, which means Dagger Mirage is still good to use with Midnight King Relic to have 25 Might Stack uptime. And for God's sake, ArenaNet, if you're going to remove Daze from the Dagger Ambush because it's kinda broken or annoying in PvP and World of Sword, make sure to not include the nerf in PvE, because there is absolutely no reason to nerf it in PvE, since it's not used in any in-game content. Hopefully they will listen for once. Spear Berserker is pretty good, not only because its damage is decent, but also because it can stay in range to avoid incoming damage and AoEs. The damage rotation is pretty simple. I mean, we are talking about Power Warrior, so no brain is needed. As you can see, I can kill mobs and some bosses in a decent time. Just remember, you're playing full Berserker gear, so make sure to not stay in melee range unless if you're going to use the Headbutt Elite skill. The damage and survivability of Power Berserker is still way lower than Condi's Silly Berserker, but it's fun weapon to use and less complicated. Spear on NG is performing pretty good, not only for Mechanist, but also for Horsemith and Scrubber. Yep, after all these years, I finally going to promote a Scrubber build, since the power Scrubber damage is pretty low when fighting champions or tough veteran mobs. The only thing you need to keep an eye out for is the skill 3 in the Spear. As long as skill 3 is active, you will keep 25 vulnerability uptime, which means we can replace the Verite Sigil to the Cleansing Sigil for Holosmith and Mechanist, and Earth Sigil for Scrubber to push the damage.
Armored up. Heat level stabilized. Tighten up. Can't see anything. Scale rising.
And finally, Revenant Spear. Revenant, as everyone is already aware, is performing very well. Sadly, too well in endgame content. That's why ArenaNet suddenly released a fixed patch to reduce the Spear's damage. The Spear's damage on Celestial is almost identical to Mace Axe damage, so in my opinion, it's not worth using it on Renegade, since Renegade rotation with Spear skills, boon uptime skills, and energy management is too spammy and not worth the hustle. So it's better to stick with Mace Axe since it's way easier to execute. The only thing I will change on Renegade in this expansion is using Permeating Pestilence instead of Fiendish Tenacity, since mobs in this expansion inflict too many conditions. But make sure to be in melee range to an enemy before swapping in stance, otherwise the conditions won't be transferred from you to the enemies around you. And to push more damage, we can replace Relic of the Water with the Relic of Akim to inflict AoE conditions whenever you use your skill 5 on Axe. On the other hand, Spear on Herald is easier to execute, unlike Renegade. It can passively generate boons by keeping utility skills active. And with the new expansion Relic, Relic of the River, Vindicator will have access to both Perma Quickness and Alacrity, resulting in more damage output. Sadly, just like Renegade, Spear on Vindicator will do the same DPS on Celestial Mace Axe, so the only change will be using the new Relic. But if you want to use Spear Vindicator, I will leave the build link and DPS rotation video in the description down below. I will leave you to watch the rest of the showcase. hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you want to see more builds or showcases, make sure to join the Discord server and check the pinned messages in the Discord to see more stuff and guides. See you later and have a nice day.